Hey guys, it's Charlie from Fightfast. The world, it gets crazier every day, so we're going to give you 5 fighting tips for self-defense. Let's get right into it.
We discussed if you can lay your hand on their chest, somebody's up here, you would be absolutely surprised at how many people will argue right here in your face. And when they do, if you can get a hand right here, you got good clean uppercuts and elbows. You got follow-through elbows. If your hands are hanging by your side, this is natural. You don't have to get way down here to hit a guy in the jimmy. All right, you just stand here like this. Your hands are right there. You can either flip him, which will cause him to buckle or react and get you set in for an elbow shot and maybe a front headlock, or turn your palm straight up. One of the ways I like to hit the groin is to turn my palm up, just like this, and just hit, just like that. When you hit, they're going to bend, and then you run straight up into their head and rip and turn and tear their head around. This is simple. You can go into the chin, you can go into the eyes, or you can come into the neck and trach him right in it. And remember, this windpipe is a lethal blow. So when that's happening, somebody's in here going, yap, 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 boom, get a shot here. They bend up into their throat, grab and twist, turn. And if you want, you can add another headbutt in here. You want to try to attempt to use your head like a battering ram. These are down and dirty street fighting techniques that work. Other things that will happen frequently, if I ever get into a fisticuff, if I'm going backwards or something, almost always I try to throw my thumb, and I like to use my thumb into their eye. I like to take it and twist it and turn it, and that will give you an advantage to set up other techniques. If you end up on the floor and the guy's out wrestling you, if he's beating you, you just go straight into his eyes, and he's not going to sit around there wrestling you anymore. He's going to get up and get away, and in some cases they'll even pass out. So it's okay to get into the eyes on these people.
Hey, Jimbo here with your next tip. This one's a good one. It's about lethal combat. If your life or the life of anyone you care about is threatened, using lethal force against the threatening opponent is justified. Problem is, what happens if you don't happen to have a gun or a knife on you? What happens if this dude is like twice your size? Well, that's what this tip is all about. How to use nothing but your bare hands as lethal weapons, even against larger, stronger men. This is very good stuff. I hired some U.S. Special Forces combat experts, guys who've used these moves in actual life and death fighting to show you barehanded lethal fight moves that can end a fight in seconds. But here's the thing. These moves are very ugly and very brutal. I am not allowed to post them here on this platform. If I did, it would get my channel shut down very quickly. However, if you don't mind a little deadly gore, you can see them all for free simply by going to the link in the description. These moves are definitely worth a minute of your time. And when crunch time hits and your life is on the line, you'll be damn glad that you learned these simple deadly moves. So get there now. Okay, on to our next tip.
Now we're going to go straight down to the legs real quick. Something that you can do while you're sitting here. These shin bones, there's no meat. There's only skin and there's bone and there's some nerve that runs right down the front of the shin. So anytime you can throw a foot, if you got a hard sole shoe, you're sitting here, you might flick the eyes or throw a little distractor and then kick them square in the shin. If you got a real strong guy and you got strong shins, then what I like to do is I like to kind of sidestep them just a little bit and cross my shin right here. As I cross their shin, I go heel down and stomp my foot here, and it locks the knee out real hard. If you do it hard enough, you're going to create injury to the shin and rip and tear the nerves along the back of the knee. So if you're in here fussing and fighting and his hand comes up, I can sit there and pass his hand, step right inside, and stomp right in here. Notice I go heel first and then lock it out. Boom, like that, sorry. And then you got the rest of the setup. So you can just step in, boom, and stomp right across those shins. If you're just kicking and you condition your shins, and there's a lot of ways you can do that, you can also just drop down, bend, and kick shin to shin. Or drop down and kick shin to shin. Shin hits really do hurt. The shin hit will cause so much pain, in fact, that most people will give up the fight almost instantly. If you got very basic roundhouse kicks on the inside of the ankle area and the outside of the ankle area, great places to kick people to take them off their feet. All you got to do when they start messing around is drop down on one knee and slam. Drop down on one knee, slam. A lot of these kicks will actually break the leg. If you get up into these nerves in the side of the leg, right in here, and you start hitting, it'll buckle them right up. Right in the back of the knee if you end up this way. Just above and below the knee, we've got another, I think it's a peroneal nerve. If you smack these things, go ahead and put your weight on your legs. If you hit these nerves right here, like hit down on them, all I'm gonna do is just hit it real quick, and you'll watch his knees buckle. Okay, and that's not a hard hit. One of my favorite techniques, you'll see it, is whenever people are grabbing at me, is to either trap or pin that hand, use the other hand or the same hand, and go straight up into the throat. Remember I told you to get this V, and then start traking them. Just pull down and try to pull your fingers together on the back of their windpipe. So you just reach in, grab, and just squeeze. And you can pull them into you this way too. It's real easy. If he's still standing and I have that problem, I may want to pull him in like this, then put a little pressure on the back of his neck and just manipulate him around until I can get the crowd under control. Other ways to break, they come up and grab on your collar. I don't know why people do this. We can go back in, drop our elbows into the radial nerves, press them down. They'll drop right in the front headlocks. I love front headlocks. Twist, turn your head, and back into a bar or a wall or wherever you happen to be. If this guy starts getting antsy and grabbing for you, growing or something like that, just simply put a lot of pressure on them and they'll stop. You have people come up and grab. Remember how to break away, you know, for example. And now any of these grabs, it's essential that you throw a real quick distractor, because if it's just muscle to muscle, I may not get away on time, but if we're going through all this wrestling, I go, boom, distract. Now I got away. And I got this hand, or I can reach back here and come in. There's a lot of things that you can do once you have freed up this hand.
Hey guys, I'm jumping in here real fast. I want to give you some free videos. Go check out the description. We got a link to our free Fight Enders video. It's totally free. In that video, you'll get trained by martial artists, Green Berets, Black Ops, a whole bunch of specialists in the military and martial artists. The video is totally free. The link's in the description. Go check it out. Back to the video.
Next thing you know, the hands are coming out. You want to slap. And guys, a lot of times won't actually hit a person, but they'll slap them. And then a lot of times people will slap the brachial plexus. You can break a person's neck. You remember we went over that. So you want to just sometimes completely avoid it. If you're in close and you're not in a position to actually get your blocks up, you just want to bob and weave or do something or just simply duck. So the way this thing sets up, we're in here, and you push your hand down. When they swing, you're going to duck underneath, spin and catch them right in the diaphragm. Boom, then go to the groin, come back to the spine, pow. Reach up, grab a handful of eyes, step in the back of the leg, and this is where the hurt comes in. It could be the floor or it could be the bar. You twist, turn the head, you got your hands in your eyes, and you slam them, boom, straight into a bar head first. This is a good way to end the fight. What we're going to do, Judy, come on in. Do you remember that setup? All right, we're going to give this thing a little try and run through it a little bit faster this time. And slide up there just a little bit. Okay. And run. And run away when that happens. Okay, once you get them where you want them, you want to make sure that you leave the scene. Get some help. Call a bouncer, or a lot of clubs keep uniformed police outside. But when you're in trouble like that, once you get clear, move out. Don't hang around the target area and try to assess the damage. Just leave. People are very, very tough, especially if they've been drinking a little bit and a lot of drugs involved. People are real hard to hurt. A head concussion, you can knock a person out and they'll be back on their feet in about 10 seconds or less. So you make sure that you get through that. For your information, these bottles will break on your head all the time if you hit them right. Now, if you see a guy with a little Coke bottle with ridges in it, they won't break very easy. So that guy's pretty serious. If I was going to hit a person in the mouth with a beer bottle, or in the head area, I would either take this end or these and go straight through his teeth with these beer bottles. I'm going to use that beer bottle to my defense. I'm going to take it and I'm going to hold it by the bottom and I'm going to run it right through their face. Or I'm going to take it and run it right through their teeth. There's a lot more nerves in through this area. Or just ram it in their throat. Okay? Secondly, any of your glasses. These little glasses are real thick and they're not about to break. All you want to do is hold them in the palm of your hand and just flat palm them right into the temple, right into the nose and below, or around the sides of the jaw, or top of the head. This is also very good places to hit people with those. And any other ones. Sometimes when you do break a glass, you end up with portions left in your hand. Then you can start slashing and cutting. These are also real interesting. A lot of females carry hairbrushes, and waitress, they leave their pins laying around. You can use the butt end of a hairbrush, and you can take it through any airport in the world, not a problem. You can use a pin. Amazingly enough, if you got a person in a bar and they're running, it's real easy to sidestep them and attack them. They're usually not, when they're talking, that's the best time to go ahead and fire into someone. Now, if you have real strong hands and you get beside people, once again, you can work their ears, you can work their eyes, you can get under their nose, you can work their throat, get inside their notches, their collarbones, and walk them all around. You can twist, turn their heads, pull them, walk them, break the arms. These are all things that we've been looking at before. Now, right below the ear and around the bottom of the jaw. Now, we know we've got a bunch of nerves that run here. We've also got one right in behind the ear that will make the person release a grip. And we got one that runs right up under the bottom of the chin here. You can control a person with real bad. You can put enough pressure up under here that it will even paralyze temporarily part of the body. So say you don't have real strong fingers, you can reach up, pull by the hair, pull them backwards just a little bit, bump them with your knee, and then take these pins and put them right in their throat and press until they literally lose feeling on one side of their body. You can also, if you ever end up, push your elbows up, get them back trapped like this, and go right up in the armpit with one and push. And they've got another one that you can control. They're right down in the crotch like this, and you can walk people around. These are ways to control people by lifting their arms, getting the elbows high or head level, using them as part of your chokes, bringing them back over top of the head, and pulling like this. And you can really walk a guy around. They have a hard time resisting like this. Just remember, if you don't have the hand strength, and even if you do, if you got a pencil, a pen, a comb, a brush, you can take these things and place with your thumb and just run them right in here and walk these people where you want them to go. And any of the other areas that we worked along the body, up in the bottom of the arms, along the wrist, little come-alongs, anywhere, for example, like along the wrist here, where the bone is real close to the skin, not a lot of muscle. You can put enough pressure in here to move the elbows and make people walk around. And then you have your natural come-alongs that were, if, for example, someone was holding on to you or grabbing, like I said before, you can slap their hands down, lift, pull, slide inside. Now I'll switch around for you here, switch. And once you get in here, you plug your elbow in here, grab their little fingers, and put your pressure right in here and just lift them up and walk them out of the door.
Thanks for watching our video lessons here at TRS Direct. Hit the like button down below and consider subscribing to our channel here on YouTube. Hit the bell icon and we'll send you a notification when there's a new lesson available. Thanks again for watching.